Hello, my name is Santiago, I play the clarinet, and today I'm going to talk about the clarinet embouchure. The embouchure is the use of the facial muscles and the shaping of the lips to the mouthpiece of the brass or wind instrument. The word embouchure comes from the French language and is related with the root bouche or mouth. The embouchure allows the performer to play their instrument at its entire range with a clear tone, stable intonation, and a great articulation. And having a good embouchure and having a good care of it, it helps us avoid future muscle injuries, in particular this area. So today I'm going to talk about three different types of embouchure. Number one, smile embouchure. Number two, double lip embouchure. And number three, single lip embouchure. And the reason why I chose these three types of embouchure, it is because first of all, when I was young and in my very first lesson of clarinet, I was taught with the smile embouchure. So today in this video, I'm going to explain a few details about it, and I'm going to explain why I'm not using it anymore. Number two, about the double lip, I found very important aspects to be used during the learning process of the embouchure. And number three, the single lip, is the one I use, the one I've been practicing lately, and the one I suggested. And this is a very personal thought and personal view. The reason why I'm going to suggest this type of embouchure is because with this technique I've been able to make the sound that I want and also to get the versatility that I'm looking for in my performance. So hopefully you find this video helpful and you can share it with your friends and students within the classroom. Thank you. The smile embouchure. The smile embouchure consists in shaping the lips with a smile. Let's help us with this finger. When we smile, the corners of our lips move towards to the ears, making the gesture as a triangle with a pointed chin. I use the smile to get the student a flattened chin in the way it should be. However, the description of the smile isn't the best idea of a clarinet embouchure because it tends to invite air leakage. As you may notice, it's also, of course, less use of the reed. As a result, we will have a brighter and spread tone. Even when our chin looks great, I will not suggest this embouchure. Double lip embouchure. It makes reference to a technique of playing in which the lips cover both upper and lower teeth. This technique started being used around the 1820s when the clarinet used to have the reed on the top, so performers were forced to play using double lip. Today I'm going to use this pen to explain how to shape a double lip embouchure. So cover upper teeth, lower teeth, Easy, right? Just let's remember, upper teeth never touches the mouthpiece and lower teeth never touches the reed. Right? Now let's try with the clarinet. As I mentioned before, studying about this embouchure made me realize a few good tips that we can use in our teaching. So for example, when we make the gesture of the double lip, look what happens in our neck, particularly in this spot. It opens up the oral cavity, which means that our sound will be bigger and will help to have a better projection. Another good tip, and this is the position of the tongue. When we make the double lip shape, our tone, as a natural reaction, gets higher, which helps to the voicing. And also, performers who play with using this technique, they mention and they refer that their legato is smoother. However, you can find different opinions and different points of view about it. So, as a few aspects which are now really positive about this embouchure are: number one, you need much more muscle strength in your lips to play, and an endurance for a lengthy blow can be a real problem. So for this reason, you cannot go without playing clarinet for 1 week and expect to be in shape. And also, the instrument is as well supported, so performers find it a little bit uncomfortable to play standing up. Single lip embouchure. This makes reference to a technique of playing with the lower lip stuck against the lower teeth, getting a round aperture between the lips. Note that the lips are in a similar position to a whistle. To be sure the lips are not stretched outward in a smile, we can use the word ooh or ooh to make sure that the shape is correct and the corners of the lips are always pushing forward. Ooh. I use double lip embouchure, and in my opinion, this technique has helped me to develop a good tone, a great articulation, and a stable intonation. However, the last decision of which technique should be used is all yours. This video was made with the intention of giving a short approach of the different techniques of the clarinet embouchure, and also to talk about the benefits of the single lip embouchure. Now, I would like to give a couple examples in how to build a good embouchure. First of all, the best way of learning a consistent embouchure is without the clarinet, because once the clarinet is inserted in our mouth, other ideas get in our mind and we get distracted, and it is now a really good idea in our intention of learning a good embouchure. So first of all, without the clarinet and in front of a mirror. So let's try this exercise. Let's get the shape of the embouchure. So remember, rounded aperture like a whistle shape, flat the chin, and let's blow for 8 seconds. It's easy, right? The challenging part about the shape embouchure is like no matter what type of music you're playing, it needs to keep solid and consistent. Okay, now let's try with the clarinet. We can use an open G to blow a couple notes and to avoid the jaw movement. You may feel tired after a while because you're not familiar with this shape, but that means you are doing the correct process of the build-up and embouchure. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the challenging parts about the embouchure is keeping an embouchure without movement. So, to that, I would like to play a few exercises with intervals. And the first aspect that we're going to think about is not move anything in this area. The very beginning of the process, it could take weeks, but please be consistent and responsible about it. Now, to finish this video, I would like to share an interview with Dr. David Shea, who is the clarinet professor at Texas Tech University, who is also sharing some thoughts and some ideas about the clarinet embouchure technique. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dr. David Shea, and I wanted to give a few comments about my teaching of embouchure. Traditionally, there are three different types of embouchure. There is a double lip embouchure, there is a smiling type embouchure, and then there's the more standard embouchure that I teach and which most players today use. Let me just go through each one of these embouchures quickly so that you know the difference between them. The double lip embouchure is formed when we roll the bottom lip over our bottom teeth and also roll the top lip over our teeth like this. We put the mouthpiece in and we play with the lips over the top teeth and the bottom teeth. This is a wonderful embouchure to get a very beautiful sound, and it also helps to train the embouchure. The drawbacks of this embouchure are that it's painful a little bit, and also the demands of the instrument. Sometimes if the material is very difficult, challenging, with a lot of articulation, big jumps in range and high notes especially, it can be very difficult to sustain a pure double lip embouchure. However, double lip embouchure does allow a freedom in the sound and a beauty in the sound when it's used properly. So most teachers acknowledge the double lip embouchure as a very good teaching tool, but maybe not a standard embouchure that you'd use in performance. The second embouchure I want to talk about is the smiling embouchure. And the smiling embouchure was very popular in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. And when we do the smiling embouchure, basically we put the corners of our mouth back like we're smiling, and we flatten our chin like this, and then the top teeth on the top of the mouthpiece, so this is not rolling over, so it's just a single lip embouchure. You go like this, but the corners are going backwards so they're tight and secure. And this embouchure was very popular for a while. It gives a very beautiful, focused but small sound. And since the tendency in tone qualities these days is for darker, fuller, richer sound, this embouchure can cause a lot of problems trying to achieve that tone. I also found that with the smiling embouchure, it introduces a lot of tension in the embouchure, which actually inhibits the sound and the production of articulation and various tone colors and dynamic range. So I teach the single lip embouchure, which is a non-smiling embouchure. It's more of an ooh-shaped embouchure. And this embouchure was also taught in the 1940s and 50s and 60s by Daniel Bonad, who was one of the greatest clarinet players of all time. It was just a different lineage, a different school. So the embouchure that I teach and that I have my students use is, again, it's a single lip embouchure, so the bottom lip is over the teeth. But instead of smiling with the corners back, I go forward into the mouth, saying ooh, like this. So if I say ooh with the embouchure becomes very round, but it also comes forward. And by blowing this embouchure, it allows for a bigger, richer sound. It allows for more flexibility in sound and a more consistent professional sound by today's standards. So those are the three embouchures I use, and I prefer, again, the single lip embouchure that I demonstrated at the end. Thank you.